Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another standard brew. Today revisiting green-white Hexproof for Lorwyn standard. We don't really get a whole lot of updates from Lorwyn Eclipse as far as spells go, but we do get a playset of Temple Gardens, which is a huge deal. Today running 4 Scavengers, 4 Admirers, 4 Aerialists, and a couple Enduring Innocences to boost our ability to grind out longer games, as well as Most Helpful Weaver as an honorary creature here. Couple Hunter's Talents in the main to be able to give Trample to our really late game souped up flyer. I think this is mostly relevant for the mono green landfall matchup where they're able to produce a lot of big tree folk with reach. Being able to have access to trample in the late game, I think will be pretty important there. 20 lands today, including 1 Restless Prairie, and then we do get a couple of Johnny Outland Chaperone for the sideboard as an alternative sort of grindy threat. Few Seam Rips, couple more Hunter's Talent for that mono green landfall matchup. I think it'll play pretty nicely there. Otherwise, I think that matchup's going to be pretty tough. A few Rest in Peace, a few Origin of Metal Bending, and a couple exercises also for that mono green landfall matchup. Otherwise, outside of that matchup, I think this deck will be pretty good in the meta. Especially the really interactive decks. If we pull up on, say, the Dimir Doomsday Demon list, I think we're gonna kind of range them a little bit. All right, match 1 here on the draw. Really excellent hand for us. Good mix of creatures and ways to buff them, as well as 1 Shard Mage's Rescue, which tends to be pretty key. Leading on an Escape Tunnel. Okay, well, assuming it is the landfall matchup, let's just go as hard as we can, which is jam an Optimistic Scavenger and follow it with an Innkeeper's Talent. Try to beat them down as quickly as we can. Mountain. Well, I didn't expect Mountain. I didn't expect... They got me good. Consider me baited. Follow up with an Optimistic Scavenger, huh? I guess let's just put a Toadstool Admirer on the field and then Lush Portico, and then next turn we can either talent, Scavenger Talent, or just hold up a Shard Mage's Rescue alongside the talent. Good thing we have quite a few creatures to work with here, though. Fabled Passage. Let's just go for the talent here. No need to risk it too much. It's a little less damage long term, but it is ultimately safer. And I might just decide to level up the talent next turn. Kind of goes crazy with this Optimistic Scavenger. Not really sure what my opponent is up to, though. Oh, okay. Now I know. It is the Temur Harmonizer list. I guess theoretically they could kill me this turn if they had another fetch, but they already used 2 fetches. We should be pretty decent here as long as we can avoid outright dying. We don't have any ways to interact with their combo, so at instant speed, right? But they're going to have a hard time interacting with us, which is namely what their deck does, right? Starting town. Well, we could be dead next turn. I guess let's try to present a blocker at the very least. So let's play Scavenger and Toadstool Admirer. And we might as well also level up this Innkeeper's Talent. Might as well also shock myself, I suppose. Shouldn't matter too much. I guess if they have Harmonizer here and they go for play the Escape Tunnel, give this unblockable, fetch. Yeah, I'm dead to Harmonizer no matter what, so I might as well just go for maximum damage here, right? Maybe that just means casting this Shard Mage's Rescue proactively. It's more damage if I wait for next turn. I really need to draw exactly Sheltered by Ghosts. They block with the Ice Tail. Okay. Well, I mean, this could be a way for us to get back in the game. They decide not to. Fair enough. Might as well go for this. I might as well wait, I suppose. I don't know. I don't think it super matters. If they have Harmonizer here, I'm just dead. And they cast a Consult the Star Charts. It's a decent chance that they just have it. Tassiger the Golden Chain. Good name. Well, they're cracking a Fabled Passage, which could be good news for us. Mill a Harmonizer. Great news for us. Wistfulness. Fair enough. Killing off an Innkeeper's Talent. That's fine. At least we're not dead, you know? And if they do swing with this Ice Tail, I can kill it. Assuming they don't have removal. Okay. We untap. That's nice. Another Scavenger, huh? I guess I just have to... Maybe I just pass here and plan to spend 4 mana to level up the Toadstool Admirer. And then that way next turn I can go Scavenger plus Shard Mage's Rescue to be bigger than the Wistfulness here. I might as well just play another Scavenger first. Because I can do the same thing next turn, really. No tax. Pass it to you. Could really use one of our Sheltered by Ghosts, perhaps. Maybe it'd be worth including some instant speed interaction in the side. Couple get losts at the very least for this matchup. It's not one that I've run into a whole lot, but it does come up. Let's go ahead and spend the Shard Mage's Rescue. See if they have another response for this. Burst Lightning, fair enough. Yeah, it doesn't seem likely that we're going to be able to pull this one out. That's okay. Mills a Spell Snare. Shard Mage's Rescue. Well, suppose we just pass it back. Plan to level up Admirer. We're kind of past the frame where or past the window where our ward is effectively hexproof. Now it's just like a minor inconvenience for our opponents, especially when they have all of this extra mana available from Ice Tail. And we are just dead to this, so scoop it up. Glad to be put out of my misery there. Moving to game 2. For this matchup, I think we just want, like... Maybe there's a pretty good argument for Rest in Peace if they're relying on Ice Tail and, like... I think they also have some amount of Winter Night Stories in the list. Is that correct? I'll bring in the first one at least. I don't think Hunter's Talent looks particularly good here. Seam Rip is bad. Exercise could be good. I think they're on at least 3 Earthbender's Talents. Yeah, but maybe these exercises should just be Get Losts. That probably makes a lot more sense. Run it like this. 61 card special on accident, but that's okay. We're big and strong and powerful. We can definitely take this one. Words of Affirmation and Magic the Gathering. Brought to you by the Eric MTG. Decent-ish hand. It's lands and spells, and I kind of do like the one of Enduring Innocence here. Just go ahead and lead on a Toadstool Admirer. I might just soup it up with a Sheltered by Ghosts next turn. Just try to get in as quickly as possible. Ward 4, 2/1 lifelinker. If I bump my life up too in the beginning, it kind of does put things a little bit out of reach for them. Wonderweave Aerialist is a pretty good draw here. Let's go for the Enduring Innocence, because if I'm at 22, I believe the number that they can do this turn is exactly 22, but life linking from Enduring Innocence keeps me out of lethal range here. Pyroclasm, pretty good. Royal Treatment, not a bad draw. Go for our Wonderweave. Hopefully it doesn't get spell snared. Kind of feels like they have a spell snare, or perhaps a consult. Heritage Wreck on the Enduring Innocence. Pretty rude. Feeling a little silly with this exercise in hand. Pass it back to you. Wistfulness. It is Lorge. No need to use the Royal Treatment quite yet. I think I'm just going to spend my exercise here. Start swinging in. Pass it back to you. Ashling rekindled. Is this like? Do they typically play this card? Huh. Interesting. Cracks a Fabled Passage. Okay. Would love to draw like an Innkeeper's Talent here. Sheltered by Ghosts would be good too. Vibrance. Just trying to go for it here. Alright, well, let's let them pay the ward, I suppose. Protect our guy. They're just trying to seal the deal. They might come to regret that. Temple Garden, not the best draw. Pass it back to you. Hold up control. Pretend I maybe have something. Hate the sleeves. Casting the Vibrance. They might not realize this actually has Ward 3 at this point. Pretty good outcome for us. Bossing Say in hand. Okay, but we do have a flyer. We're drawing lands. Swinging for 3 in the air. It's what we got. Tapped Temple Garden. Pass it to you. Wistfulness. Yeah, it's good. Ice Till. Nice Till. I mean, if we draw like exactly Innkeeper's Talent right now and they just have nothing, or Sheltered by Ghosts right now, Shard Mage's Rescue right now. This is 5, 11. It's what I got. 13 plus 2 from Bossing Say. What I got. Swing in for 3. Pass it back to you. Flip the Ashling if they would like. They probably will. Land. Mill. Land. Mill. Swing in. Alpha Strike. Go to 4. Untap. Burst lightning my face. All right. I don't know why you would do that in my upkeep, but cool. GG. All right. Well, match 1 in the books. Let's head into match 2. Not our best matchup, probably. Not having instant speed interaction. I'm just going to go ahead and swap out those exercises for get losts in between here. All right. On the play, match 2. It's close to being good. If this was a Temple Garden, I might keep it. Go ahead and mulligan that. All right. Pretty decent. I think we can skip on an Admirer here. Let's just lead on the Lush Portico. Yeah, we'll take a Helpful Weaver. I ended up cutting both of the exercises, 1 Seam Rip and 1 Metal Bending, Origin of Metal Bending, for a full playset of Get Losts. There's just been so many, there have been so many Harmonizer lists on the ladder lately that I kind of feel like you just need to be on instant speed interaction of some kind. Go for the area list. I'll make sure I update the Scryfall deck list so it'll reflect that if you pull it up from the YouTube description. Elusive Otter. Well, I think we can beat this. I have a feeling we can beat this. No blocks. Let's just go for Scavenger into Sheltered by Ghosts. It's going to present a pretty big area list for them to have to deal with. And getting early life gain going is going to be pretty huge for us. Just exile an Otter here, namely the token. And we're pretty close to having a Baneslayer Angel online with Ward 4. Turn 3. Pretty good stuff. Love to see it. Sometimes you just kind of win matches like this. I mean, it's just like, okay, well, opponent's really not going to be able to come up with any answers for our Ward 4 guy. Shock the Scavenger, but it kind of already did its job. The question is, can they present enough damage quickly enough to kill us, basically? And with us gaining, like, 4 life at a time, I kind of doubt it, but who knows? I guess we just cast our Helpful Weaver here. Put a little blocker on the field. Might as well play this starting town over the Temple Garden. Continue to swing in. Go back up to 17. They hate to see it. They really hate to see it. Into the Floodmaw. Ward 4, baby. Ward 4. People forget about Sheltered by Ghosts, I guess. Okay, they pay 2. Come on, Lucara77. Big dog. Ward 4, dude. Ward 4, baby. Come on. Scoop it up. All right, game 2. It can be kind of easy to lose track of how much ward our creatures have with the combination of, like, extra ward from Innkeeper's Talents and Royal Treatments and whatnot. Against this list, I think we probably just want Seam Rips just to manage the Otters early on. Other than that, I think we're pretty well set. Maybe go down a talent, and kind of think we want all of the protection. They're probably on Torch in this list, so maybe Enduring Innocence is not that great. Trying a Johnny, maybe? Nah, they're like kind of all in aggro, right? With the Wild Rides. Maybe we want Get Losts if they're trying to do like Quantum Riddler Wild Ride shenanigans. Go down the talents, go up to Get Losts, try it like that. Alright, no creatures, can't keep this. This is pretty good. Helpful Weavers, kind of like a creature and a little buff. I think we can just skip on the starting town here. No good interaction for what they're up to. Toadstool Admirer is pretty sweet for us here, though. With a good amount of protection already. They'd have to have exactly like Fire Magic right now, or Pyroclasm next turn. Not a whole lot of decks are playing Fire Magic anymore, though. And I'd kind of be surprised if they were on it. Pyroclasm I wouldn't be so surprised, though. They could just go for it right here. They suspend a slick shot show off. Okay. I think I'm gonna play with the suspended show off. I think I'm just gonna jam this Helpful Weaver. If they have Pyroclasm, they have Pyroclasm, right? But this gives me the best opportunity to try to race them with eventually getting the counter and double strike. I'd really like to draw just like a Shelter by Ghosts to mitigate the life loss here. No Pyroclasm is good. Sear on the Spider. That's fine. Five in the air. Is that a Shelter by Ghosts for me? You shouldn't have. Just eat the show off here. It's just the biggest threat to us losing. Swing in for 3. With a good chunk of protection backup. Also, double strike next turn. Might just put the game away. Our Admirer is not particularly growing right now, but we have a lot of good draws in this scenario, like Ethereal Armor and Keeper's Talent. Both are pretty strong next turn. Also wouldn't mind a Scavenger. Bouncing the Storm Chaser's Talent. Okay. I wonder if they considered bouncing Shelter by Ghosts. Kind of just delaying the inevitable, maybe. And they're deciding instead to just fight me on board. Bouncing Talent. Okay. Well, it's been a little while since I've seen this kind of otter board. People have been going down on Boomerang basics as far as I can tell in general. I'm not much of an Izzet player in general, so can't really speak on as to why too much. Restless Prairie. Double strike on the Admirer. Might as well play a second Admirer here. Swing in for 6. I could buff it for an extra 2 life, 2 damage. I would give up one of my protection spells in the process, but they might just be in on not interacting with my guy at this point. Probably better to go for the Royal Treatment instead, but that's okay. Gain a comfortable amount of life back. Back to 20. 20 to 8. Me going for the Shard Mage's Rescue 2 might tell them, like, hey, I've got another one, you know? So it might inform them a little bit here. If they read into that. Sleight of Hand. It's kind of like, reminds me of like the classic Corey Steelcutter builds. Obviously, Corey Steelcutter is banned in Standard, but they pretty much played all of these cards except for maybe the Elusive Otters. Taking a chunk, going down to 11. It's a pretty good chunk. Back to me. Another Shard Mage's Rescue. All right. Swing in with our guy. Opt. They're just going to try to grow their Otter into a 3/3. It will not be enough. And I could just tap out and give it a 1/1 counter with its activated ability. To blockers. They could, like, into the Flood Maw my Shelter by Ghosts. They block. Bounce off on their Elusive Otter. Interesting. Okay. Just trying to go for the throat in a way. Another Shard Mage's Rescue. Once again, probably should have gone for the Royal Treatment. That's okay. Back to me. I guess playing the Shard Mage's Rescue is better into them having like a Null in hand, so maybe there is a reason to stay on the Royal treatments. Storm Chaser's Talent. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get big enough here. And my Admirer is growing. There's maybe just a pretty good argument for, instead of committing the Shard Mage's Rescue anyway, just spend the 4 mana, put a counter on the Admirer. It's not like they're going to be able to beat the ward on this at this point, you know? Okay, well, they actually could reasonably block my Admirer at this point if they have, like, one spell and just throw everything in front of it. I don't think I want that. So I'm just going to pass. Plan to put a counter on my Admirer here. Get Lost is kind of interesting. Keeps me from dying, at the very least, probably. Were they to have like a Slick Shot show off and some kind of crazy Storm off turn. I think I can safely go for this. I can't imagine a 1 mana spell that they could have to deal with this, other than maybe like, I guess, bounce off. They could just bounce my Admirer. I guess I imagined it pretty quickly. And then if I had done the Royal treatment previously instead of the Shard Mage's Rescue, they wouldn't be able to bounce off in this situation. They do have Into the Floodmaw. Yeah, okay. Oops, in it. We're not dead, though. They do get a show off back. Innkeeper's Talent, huge draw for us. Play the Innkeeper's Talent, start leveling up this Admirer, and I think I'm gonna have to get Lost a show off or maybe a Storm Chaser's Talent here. Could just hit them. Hitting them's kind of interesting. Put them to 6, and then if they have to level up Storm Chaser's Talent to get another spell, I can deny that. Is this crazy? They're not going to double block, right? I think I'm okay with this. Triple block, even. Do I want to spend a Royal treatment to kill an Otter? It's interesting. I guess I'll just let this happen. So they lose quite a bit of material here, which means the threat of them killing me this turn is quite a bit lower. I think we both maybe stumbled a couple times here. I'm going to go for the Get Lost on this Storm Chaser's Talent. Maybe it makes more sense to do it on the show off long term, but if I just deny the basics right now, that's pretty good, right? Giving him a couple maps. Is this like a spell snare? Uh-oh. Opt. Okay. Trying to hit a spell snare. One non-creature spell. Keep something on top. Another Boomerang basics. They left something on top. Another Opt on top. I mean, you gotta draw that. Hits me. Another Admirer. Play a Talent. Play an Admirer. Sorry, play an Admirer. Play an Admirer. Pass it back to you. I could opt to like level up this Talent right now. And then have enough mana to level it fully next turn. I'm kind of hoping I just draw land and I can fire up the Restless Prairie, though. Probably more important just holding up the Royal treatment here. Could be dead. Stock up. Oh, I am like so dead to stock up. I'm like so dead to stock up. Opt. Yeah, I'm actually just dead right here. Go ahead and scoop it up. Can't block that otter past a certain point. Maybe we kind of do want the Hunter's talent against what they're doing here. Might just be better than Get Lost ultimately. Yeah, try it like that. On the play. Game 3, match 2. Got a mulligan that, 1 lander. No creatures here. Seam Rip is kind of nice though. I mean, everything else surrounding this hand is really good. And double Lush Portico. I think I'm going to keep this and just kind of hope I hit a creature. Cross your fingers. Double Lush Portico should help us out. Toadstool Admirer, never punished. Island, Talent. So we go Admirer, second Portico. Do we want the Verge? I don't think we can afford to go like land in our next 2 draws, so let's skip this Verge here. And maybe we do want to land there though, just to be able to like cast the Hunter's Talent and hold up Royal Treatment. Swinging in. They're going aggro. Wonder Weave Aerialist is pretty good, actually. Not being able to protect it kind of sucks. Maybe we just go for like a Hunter's Talent and deal with one of their creatures right now. It's ultimately better to Hunter's Talent when I have like a big souped up lifelinker though. If they have Pyroclasm next turn, which they could. I don't think I've seen it yet. I'm going to cast the Aerialist here. It's got a higher ceiling. I could also maybe offer a trade. Maybe I should have offered a trade. I think I'd be happy to take the trade there. Opt. Leave something on top. Steam Vents. Do I just chump here? We'll just take it. It's a big hit, but I'm going to start gaining some life back here soon. Ethereal Armor. I suppose I just Shelter by Ghosts then. On the Aerialist, they could have a Spell Snare. Or a Knoll or something. Just exile an Otter here. I'm going to leave back this Admirer in case they have, like, Slickshot Show Off and something crazy. Like, land, Slickshot Show Off, opt. Might kill me. I'm probably not going to block, but I don't think dealing 1 extra damage there is going to be super relevant. And we're kind of set up, actually, with this Ethereal Armor draw, being able to, like, actually put a big, nasty creature out on the field here. Feeling like we're in a pretty good position, especially with them tapping out for a stock up. If I draw a land and I get to, like, Hunter's Talent and hold up the Royal Treatment, I might just do that. But I'm happy with the Ethereal Armor, too. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. Kill off their elusive Otter here. Gain a little extra life. Swing in for 4. Continue to hold up the Royal Treatment here. And I'd say we're kind of set. If they have a Pyroclasm, they'd have to have Pyroclasm plus, like, Spell Pierce to get out of this. Can't really imagine much else. Redemption from last game with my Into the Flood Maw goof. I think I maybe could have won that game eventually. Had I not tapped out to put a counter on my Toadstool Admirer in that position, but here we are, game 3. Feeling pretty good. Spire Bluff Canal. Talent. Swinging for 3. Back to me. Okay. Starting town. Soup up our guy. See if they decide they want to interact with this at all. No. Could go for a Seam Rip for a little extra damage here. I think I'm going to be okay. Swing in for 6. Him big. Him big. Him big? Is that enough? Him big? Pretty big. Okay, hit ya. Go back up to 20. It's an uphill battle for our opponent. And now at this point, I mean, what could you have? Into the Flood Maw won't do it. It's hard to imagine a scenario where they pull this out. Are they thinking about like Into the Flood Maw on one of my enchantments at this point? Probably just a little too late for that. Opt. Okay. Bottom's a card. What you got? What you got? Opt. It's a desperate man's opt. You can always tell. You can smell it on him. Ooh. Bottoming a card is a desperate man's opt for sure. And they scoop it up. All right, 1-1. Let's head into the final match here. Green-white Hexproof. Match 3. On the draw, 1 Scavenger, 2 Ethereal Armors, and a Dream. I mean, that plays really nicely in certain decks in this meta. Like, if this is the mono-green landfall deck that I'm against, I'd probably keep that if I knew, but I'm just going to go ahead and mulligan. This is much better. I think we can put back the first Royal Treatment. Or the second Royal Treatment, rather. Aerialist, extra protection, Shelter by Ghost, pretty good. Fanatical Firebrand. Well, a deck repping Fanatical Firebrand might struggle against a big flying lifelinker. Go for our Lush Portico. I think we want a 3rd land. It gives us the option of delaying the Aerialist a turn. So it doesn't just die to, like, shock, right? I could just go for an Admirer here. Honestly, souping up the Admirer just might be enough in this matchup, too. Just pass it back to you, though. I mean, if they tap out for, like, Howl Squad Heavy here, I think I just kind of ranch them. Nova Hellkite. Okay. Well, I think I'm just going to go all in on this Admirer, then. Just go for a Shelter by Ghost on the Firebrand next turn, and then hold up Royal Treatment. And then follow that up with an Ethereal Armor. Most Helpful Weaver. Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. Ward 4, by the way. I don't know. Maybe you just jam an Ethereal Armor at that point. Like, what are they going to do? Ward 4? Yeah, maybe it makes sense to just jam the Ethereal Armor, and then next turn you can play the Helpful Weaver comfortably while holding the Royal Treatment. Probably a small misstep, but I think we're at such a huge advantage just being on 4 main deck Shelter by Ghosts here anyway. Pretty much our ideal matchup. And what is their little pet that they're rocking here? Oh my god. What is this little freak? This absolute little freak. Just hatched out of a shell. Why is it posing like that? Sunspine links, no! My shelter by ghosts. Okay, well, remember everything I said before? I don't know. I guess I just try to race him here. Swing for 5 with a little blocker action. And then if they go for Nova Hellkite, they can kill my spider, put me to 2. Not going to be guaranteed lethal on this crackback here, but I think this is my best play. Otherwise, I could just hold up. I could just go all in and pump this guy for an extra little bit of damage. That may have been better. Burst Lightning on the spider. Interesting. They could have just played the Nova Hellkite. What are your last cards? You have double Lightning Strike? Another Sunspine Lynx, okay. Put yourself to 10. Counter on my Admirer. And swing in. Oh, they don't block. Great. Well, they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn. GG. Kind of feel like we stole victory out of the jaws of defeat there a little bit. It looked grim. I mean, it looked great, and then it looked grim, and then somehow it became great again. I think we want the Get Losts, perhaps, for maybe a couple Seam Rips too. Get Lost and Seam Rips. We don't need so much instant speed protection because our creatures being big naturally protects us against the red decks here. So we can go down a couple Royal Treatments, couple Shard Mages Rescues. I also kind of feel like the Helpful Weaver is not super relevant here. It just kind of dies to their Nova Hellkites. It reduces our creature count if we cut them, but should be okay. Let's go with the Hunter's Talents to be able to manage the Sunspine Links a little better as well. I mean, once we stick something, it's pretty likely to survive. So I think we can afford to go full for Get Lost. As long as we play smart and not like a big dum-dum. I mean, this hand is something. I think I have to mulligan, though. It's definitely something. Okay. This is closer to being good. It's not great, but 2 lands is important. We have a creature. Giantcraft Helm, yo! We've got a Giantcraft Helm believer, gang. Go for a tapped Temple Garden here. Giantcraft Helm believer. Logging on. I guess I should just Seam Rip it, right? Because if they do have Nova Hellkite next turn, that's quite a lot of damage I'm avoiding by doing this. Lightning Strike my face. Lush Portico. Royal Treatment. I think I'll take the Royal Treatment here. Lets me be a little more free with this Scavenger. Go with the Scavenger. Get that online. Pass it back to you. They go for a Burst Lightning. Well, make you use another one if you've got it, I suppose. And now it won't die to a Nova Hellkite, which is nice. 3/3, Ward 1. Big enough to beat up a Sunspine Lynx with his Hunter's Talent. Pretty funny. Shelter by Ghosts. I'm just going to go for the Hunter's Talent. You know, yeah, like this. It's pretty funny if I do Shelter by Ghosts this and just start swinging in, but a little just a little too dangerous. Okay, well, great. 2-1 overall. Great matchup for us. Should we play one more? I kind of feel like that was just a bit of a gimme. Let's go for one more. I think we got time. Match number 4. On the draw. It's pretty good if we draw a second, like a Temple Garden or whatever. But I think we can do better. Keep this. Might as well hold on to the Restless Prairie. Skip out on the starting town here. Okay. Hollowed Fountain. Let's just lead on the Admirer. If this is Jeskai control or what have you, the threat of leveling this up is pretty real. Okay. Voice of Victory. Well, let's just go all in here, huh? At a certain point, they might not be able to deal with this. Start swinging in. 4/4 first strike. I kind of think this is all I can do here. Ward 3, a Johnny, Outland Champion. Well, they'll be able to block me for days. See what we draw here. Extra tokens. Outland Chaperone, rather. Play our Aerialist. Swing in on a Johnny. Tapped Prairie. Pass it back to you. Wouldn't mind a Sheltered by Ghosts. They could, like, have a Seam Rip at this point and pay for the Ward 3. Oh, they fell for a classic trap. Alright, they're doing the math. They're doing the math. Seam Rip the Aerialist, buddy. You got it. You got it. Figure it out. Come on. Okay, they target the Aerialist. Smart. Make another Kithkin. Been seeing a little more Ajani pop up on the ladder lately. Temple Garden. Not our best draw. Play the Weaver here. Force them to chump again. Temple Garden does let us fire up the Restless Prairie next turn, which might help us deal with Ajani once and for all, though. Restless Anchorage. Make a Kithkin. No blocks. Now if they have like an Aven Interrupter or an Aang, kind of in a bind. I mean, we'll just keep drawing lands, I guess. Counter on the Spider. Go for the Restless Prairie. I could just throw everything at their face. Kind of a lot of damage. I mean, if they have an Aang here, kind of a lot of damage if I do this, right? Kind of sets up the Helpful Weaver next turn. Let's see what they have. If they airbend my Restless Prairie, it's gone forever. Because it says spell or creature, right? Or does it say non-land permanent? I think spell or creature. You're going down to 8. Okay. They can kill off my Spider with a Johnny. But that's pretty much the same as... They have the Aven Interrupter, not the Aang. Pretty much the same as making a Kithkin. Double Strike from Helpful Weaver next turn. Could use... Hunter's Talent would be a pretty good draw for Trample. I would even take Sheltered by Ghosts. Toadstool Admirer. Well, give Double Strike to the... It doesn't super matter here. I guess let's give Double Strike to the Spider here and just plan to fire up this Restless Prairie again. They could have an Aang at this point. Swing on in. Is this Tishana's Tidebinder? Wouldn't you just Tidebinder the Restless Prairie activation, though? Aven Interrupter. Force a little Chumperoony. Okay. And then we're dead on the backswing? Great. All right, cool. Dead on the backswing. Sweet, sweet, sweet. GG. Yeah, a Johnny being able to, like, jump forever was a little rough there. But we just kind of did what we had to, I think. Bring in a Seam Rip, a couple Seam Rips for their Seam Rips and whatnot. Could bring in a Johnny of our own. Probably a little less effective against them than it is against us with the flyers that they have. But I think Hunter's Talent's a pretty good answer to a Johnny, just being able to, like, access Trample. Let's go down a couple of these like rescue effects. If they manage to land a Voice of Victory, they're going to be a little less helpful in general. Just try it like that. On the play this time, pretty good opener. Very aggro hand. I'm gonna play it like an aggro hand and just kind of jam here. Hope they didn't keep a handful of seam rips. There's a seam rip. Part 1. Shelter by Ghosts. Let's go for the Aerialist here. Play around Spell Snare on the Aerialist. Probably our most important thing to land here, I think. Shelter by Ghosts. Interesting. Swing in for 2. Play a Weaver here. Could Spell Snare this. No more lies. That's fine. Starting town. Enduring Innocence. Well, I think I'm pretty happy to Shelter by Ghosts this. There's also a Hunter's Talent, but they might have a hard time dealing with the Aerialist now that it has Ward 4. Swing for 3. Tapped Hollowed Fountain. Triple starting town is hurting them quite a lot. Ethereal Armor. I mean, they kind of have to respond to this Ethereal Armor, right? And then I get to, like, Hunter's Talent their Aang or whatever. Ward 4, by the way. Okay. Let's do it. Swing in for 5. Go up to 26. I mean, I guess I just cast a Most Helpful Weaver. I don't really have anything else going on. Do you have like a Spell Pierce? Is that what you're holding? Aang Swift Savior. Okay. A Johnny. Not going to be good enough. Makes a 1/1 to block with. Has to chump with Aang, though. Optimistic Scavenger. I might as well go for the Scavenger first. Hunter's Talent? All right. For all the marbles, final game here. Game 3. I think we want everything pretty much exactly as it is. Maybe Get Lost is okay, but I think I like the Hunter's Talent idea. Run it back. All right, pretty good hand for this matchup, I think. Not a whole lot of like buffs or anything like that. Well, there's an Innkeeper's Talent, but quite a few creatures to play around with here. I mean, if they like tap out turn 2 for a Voice of Victory, I think we're pretty happy to get this talent going. Could get another Admirer online. Yeah, swing in for 1. Probably just going to cast this Admirer here. Play this Lush Portico. Scavenger's pretty good. Let's just double spell next turn. A Johnny. A Johnny's not that good here, right? I mean, I could go for the Enduring Innocence here, but I think it makes a little more sense to just go like Scavenger plus Innkeeper's Talent, and then I can swing at a Johnny for 4. I think that's a pretty good play for us. They're going to have a hard time dealing with these Admirers, I think. Seam Rip. Takes out the talent. Okay. Makes another Kithkin. Annoying. Another land lets me go Weaver, which is probably better than trying to jam an Enduring Innocence and get anged or whatever, you know? Cast a Weaver. Haven Interrupter. Okay. Second Weaver. And then I put the counter from the scavenger on one of the admirers here to force them to double block if they want to keep. I could like, so I put a counter on the admirer, right? And then if I swing at a Johnny with everything, they have to give up. It's kind of interesting, right? If I just swing at a Johnny with everything. Because they have to block this, so they'll chump the 3/3. They'll block the scavenger and take, okay. They'll block the scavenger and take 2 on a Johnny. So I'll leave the scavenger back. We'll just swing at it like this. They trade scavenger for interrupter. That's fine. Keep their Johnny healthy. Killing off the admirer. Okay. Shard Mage's Rescue, kind of a good draw here. Let's go for a counter on the scavenger. I should just go for the Enduring Innocence, or sorry, for the Helpful Weaver if they have another interrupter, but I'm going to go for the Enduring Innocence instead. We've seen one interrupter, they might not have a second. Go for a counter on the scavenger here. It's a better target to save with the Shard Mage's Rescue ultimately. Helpful Weaver. Get a redraw off the Enduring Innocence here. What do they have in hand? Doo-doo garbage? Counter on the spider, I suppose. I don't think it super matters. What do you have in hand? What could you possibly have? Planes? Kill a Johnny? I don't know. What you got? Blood Pits Drowner? Aang. You do have an Aang, and you didn't Aang my Enduring Innocence? That's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. Well, I can save whatever they target here and then put a counter on my spider. Keep them from being able to trade. You had an Aang and you didn't airbend my Enduring Innocence? That's crazy, right? What are we doing here? Avatar's Wrath. Okay. Well, maybe that explains it. Maybe not so crazy after all. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. What are your last cards, though? Go for an Enduring Innocence. Go for a Scavenger. Try to get a little redraw action. Tishana's Tidebinder on the Innocence. A little annoying. Deny my draw here. Well, I might as well go for an Ethereal Armor to be able to like block the Tidebinder. Not much else going on, really. One card left in their hand. Wow, last card Tidebinder. And Get Lost. Pretty good curve out for them. Or not curve out, but good series of draws for them in that situation. They get to swing in with the Innocence here. If I block, it'll just die forever. So I don't think I'm allowed to block. Starting town, not ideal. Crack a map on the Enduring Innocence. Innkeeper's Talent is good eventually. Okay. I kind of think I just have to jam here. Remove all doubt. Jam. Do I actually want to draw this? I think I need like a Shelter by Ghosts to actually get back in this game. They get Fountain Port chumps if they want it. They also have a pretty good swing next turn. Like make a fish and then abandon Air Temple. Is that lethal? 3 plus 6? No. So they chump with a fish. I mean, if I get Sheltered by Ghosts and I can eat the Tidebinder, or Hunter's Talent's also good. Just being able to like turn Lifelink on for my Enduring Innocence, right? Crackback for 5. Temple Garden. Okay, GG. 2-2. Fun run. I like this deck a lot. I think it's pretty good if you like that feel of just like, well, you can interact with me, but it will be your downfall. There, you live and die by your draws essentially. Like you have a little bit of power over your opening hand, but if you don't like top deck more action, you don't really have any ways to find it. I'm kind of curious about a list that runs like a playset of Bright Glass Gear Hulk. You just raise the curve a bit, and then you get to find your scavengers and like your ethereal armors and shard mages rescues. Honestly, you could skip the Toadstool Admirers. They're fine, and having like access to the ward 2 on a 1 mana body is pretty nice. But Wonderweave Aerialist is the reason to play this deck, I think. Just being able to access flying so easily is really key. It's fun. It's a fun list. I think it's pretty good. I think you will definitely, like, if you are climbing on the ladder and you're not like a already in Mythic necessarily, right? I think this is a great deck to just absolutely. First off, you will shred any red deck that you come across, and second off, all of your matches are going to go fast one way or another. So, pretty good deck to climb with, I think. Is it like competitively viable? Would I show up to a big RC or something with this? I kind of thought about it this morning. Actually, I was like, maybe you just show up with something like this and catch people off guard, because if people aren't prepared for this, I guess with the mono green landfall deck probably being a really bad matchup because we don't have great ways to interact with what they're doing, and they can just kind of go bigger than us, faster than us. That's probably a reason not to play this at like a big competitive event like this. But as far as FNM decks go, I think this is pretty good. FNM or just grinding on the Mythic ladder. So 2-2 overall, fun matches. Appreciate you watching. If you like this kind of content, come on back. Why don't you subscribe already if you're not and you've been watching my videos? I don't know. I'll be here every day posting mostly standard content. I think my next video, though, I'm going to do a powered cube draft, so keep an eye out for that. I think I'm going to run it right now. Appreciate you watching. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.